Hi guys and welcome to Euro Truck Simulator 2. This is Sype, and today we're gonna take this Iveco Hi-way from Rome in Italy to Taranto in southern Italy. We're delivering milk, so it's just a small trip, fairly basic. So let's get after it. Put it into gear here. Set off slowly. As you can see, I'm lagging sleep a bit here, so I'll just do a quick stop on the way. It's just out here. Hopefully I'm not gonna get fined on the way, but if so, then so be it. I find the sleep mechanic, while I like it, I find it a bit I don't know, sometimes it's just hard to fit in the sleep, because there's just no rest spots within a reasonable distance from what you're doing, where you're going. I I don't know how to rectify that. I think basically what you'd have to do is to well, make it possible to sleep more places. Like basically, if you could sleep in drop-off points, pick-up points, you could sleep in all gas stations, things like that. Then I think it would be more well realistic, I guess, because as a truck driver, you really normally you'll have that option. You while you can't sleep anywhere you want, you there's many places you can sleep as long as you can park your truck safely there. So so yeah. Anyway, it's not a big deal, but I just tend to get fined. I wouldn't say a lot, but sometimes where it's not that I'm not aware of it, and I forget. It's just it takes maybe 3 or 4 hours to get somewhere to sleep, and
Go straight on.
and you're 2 hours out, and I don't think a 2 hour detour is a reasonable you know detour on a small trip, which might only be like 3 or 4 hours. So
Exit now.
we didn't expect him to go all the way around. Doesn't make sense, but whatever. He forgot something at home. Yeah. So anyway, just gonna get through here. Anyway, there's a rest stop just out here on the motorway. Sometimes I try to do it before I start my trips, but this just didn't make any sense because this rest stop it leads me onto the motorway, and there's no way I can get off there, so it'd be a huge round trip just to sleep. And as you can see down there in the corner, it's 500 kilometers, 7.5 hours, which should be about 22 minutes real time. So not too bad. It's just a small trip. I'm taking a slight detour on the way, Naples, just to unlock one of the garages there, or not garages, but dealerships, I should say. I actually don't know which one it is, but I just like to kind of unlock things on the fly, rather than just drive around aimlessly without any cargo and unlock things. So so what I'm doing here is actually I'm going also to Taranto, which is one of the few cities I have left in the Italy DLC or campaign. So so yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm going there. It should also get me closer to Messina. Not that it really matters that much because it's more. I'll just grab some fuel while we're here. It's more of a luck and which companies are in the town that is actually the distance, which dictates which jobs you can get. Anyway, just let's get some fuel here. The reason I want to go to Messina is because I'm fairly certain that one of the shipyards, which is also one of the achievements in this Italy DLC, is situated there. So I want to go and get that one unlocked. I haven't looked into it other than just quickly, so I'm not 100% sure, but that'll be a goal for tomorrow to go and get that one started, and then head to the next. It's only 2 shipyards, and I can't remember where the other one is, but obviously it's on the coast somewhere, and it would be on the western coast, I suppose. So yeah, we'll see. We'll try to get that done tomorrow. But for today, it's just a quick trip to get something done. As you can see, I'm in the Iveco Hi-way, and I actually quite like this truck. It's not one of my usual go-to trucks, but it's quite nice. It feels more powerful than it is. I guess it's just because it's a smaller truck and it weighs less. But it's quite sufficient, the amount of power it has. Unless you're doing really heavy hauling, but I'm usually not doing that in this one anyway. I tend to stick to the Scania, so the Volvos for that. But as of now, I'm just doing normal drop-offs with fairly normal trailers. I don't know. This is probably 18 tons. Let's have a look here quickly without hitting the rails. There we go. 28. So yeah, 28 tons, and it feels fine. So I believe this is 570 horsepower, but the torque is fairly low compared to some of the other brands. So I think it's like 2,300 Newton meters. I might be wrong, but it could be higher. But as I said, it doesn't feel like it's lacking power really. And I'm not one to just go for the highest engine. I try to kind of find a sweet spot in between where it doesn't feel like it's lacking all the time, but at the same time it's not using too much fuel.
Keep right, and then exit
that's
right.
not really it's not a worry, because you have plenty of money for fuel as you go get a bit into the game. I'm fairly new to the game, but as you can tell, I already have soon I'll be at a mill, and while I'm not I don't have a huge amount of garages, but I have some, and I have about maybe 20 employees now, and obviously the same amount of trucks. So it's not like I feel like I don't have enough money, but I don't know. I just try to keep it real, I guess, which is, by the way, also kind of the reason I'm driving this Iveco now, because it's an Italian truck, isn't it? So we're in Italy, and there you go. Makes sense. I have been driving Iveco trucks in real life, and they are not my taste. shall we say. I kind of well, I can't fault them. I haven't had any problems with them really. They just feel a bit tacky and kind of, you know. I don't like when you get into the trucks. There's a lot of flashing lights in the displays, like a Christmas tree every time you turn it on. Not that something is wrong, it's just a self-test when you turn on the truck, as well as a lot of beeping and binging and banging for also nothing wrong. Just remember your seatbelt, remember your lights, remember the handbrake, this and that. So it gets a bit annoying, especially if you're doing deliveries in a rigid as I was doing. And you get in and out a lot
Keep
at
right,
times
and
anyway.
then exit right.
But that being said, it's not really a big.
Exit
It's not a big
right.
deal. It's just a personal preference, and that's why I haven't really used the trucks in this game. I just don't like them in real life that much. I actually, one of the first trucks I bought was just the plain Stralis, and that is, well, that is plain, to say the least. I wouldn't want to do a huge amount of driving in that one, and that's actually the only truck I've sold off again. I didn't even want my employees to drive it. I just I didn't like it. But again, it's just a bit of role playing. I know it doesn't matter, but why not? Why are we playing anyway? It's just to enjoy it, and let's be fair. I mean, if you don't give yourself something to do in these games, it gets boring quite quickly, doesn't it? Just driving around. So you gotta have
At the roundabout,
some plans and
take
some
the second
goals,
exit.
and and they're all in your head basically, more or less. Well, that was a bit quick. I took this turn.
Exit now.
Didn't hit anything, but the tires on that trailer probably didn't fare too well. Anyway, we're coming up to my little detour here. It's the truck stop here, and it looks to be what is it, Volvo in Naples, and yeah, it's a Volvo dealership. I don't really think it matters that
Rerouting.
I unlock it. You know what, guys? I was gonna do a Yui here, but no. I'm just gonna follow this road and unlock it. Why not? Let's let's have some fun. Um, yeah. So also I can tell you that I'm using just a plain controller to control the game. I don't have a steering wheel. I used to have one a while ago, and I didn't really like it. You have to be fairly dedicated to actually use it a lot. If not, you have to put it away, take it back out, this and that every time, and I just don't have the. It just doesn't fit my life very well right now to to use a steering wheel. I like controllers. I'm fairly used to it. I play Xbox quite a lot. Now I'm on a PC. So yeah, but sometimes the steering can be a bit erratic if you kind of if you don't pay attention, because the controller is fairly sensitive. Um,
Get ready to turn
so
right.
it's not like a steering wheel where like driving a real car. You just kind of have it in your the car
Turn
is
right.
turning whatever you're turning on the steering wheel. That's it. That's not how it works here. Yeah, and it's dawning here. I really like the day cycle in this game. I think it's done
Get
really
ready
well.
to turn right.
There's some very nice scenery
Turn
sometimes.
right.
Oops. Yeah.
Never mind. I'll find a new route. Go straight on.
So I just missed my turn there because of that police. I didn't see him. He was actually in the other lane, but I was keeping my eyes on the road. And that's another annoying thing about this Italy map, I guess. And I know it's not the developers; they're just keeping it real. But all the exits and the entrances, they are 40 kilometers an hour speed limit, and I find it a bit excessive at times, like that. Well, I was doing like 57, and I wasn't really, having any issues. I was just driving, on manual speed, which I've been all the time when we're talking. I usually use the cruise control actually, but for now I'm fine just doing the manually in these small roads. So yeah, that cost me a bit, but yeah, we have it. That's the name of the game. Another thing, if we're talking just about the game, while I like the interior in this truck, it's not too bad. I mean, it looks a little bit cheap, but for a small truck, it looks nice. I mean, you could use this as a, you know, you could drive this, I think, and be fairly happy with it. But the whole the dashboard is just so tiny compared to the other trucks. So while I can see it,
At the roundabout, take the
it's
first exit.
it's just a bit
Exit now.
too small for my liking. So this is not a truck. Like I said, I not normally use this, but I do now while I'm driving in Italy. It's a fairly small map, so it's not gonna last forever, thankfully. What I would like is actually the new Iveco S-way, I believe it's called, a new truck from Iveco, and they look very nice. I think I haven't driven any of them. I'm not actively driving trucks at the moment, but they look nice. I mean, they really upped their game and made it look a lot more homey, I guess, and a lot more modern. So yeah, I would be curious to see that one. Um, yeah, slowing down to 40 here again. Yeah, it would be nice to see that one as a new truck. I think several of the trucks also, I believe Mercedes have some newer trucks. Although I'm not unhappy with the actress that's in the game now. I think it's okay, but there's just been such a development in cars and trucks in the recent years, with all the LCD displays and all these things. It's just a very huge step from what we're used to, and it makes many trucks look very dated
Keep
suddenly,
right,
right?
and then
So
exit right.
yeah,
Exit right.
that would be nice to see. And being that these two
Go straight on.
Iveco trucks that's in the game already, they're fairly it's like a lower tier, I guess, than many of the other trucks. They don't really have much options. They're fairly basic. It would be nice to see a new truck for the Iveco brand, which is more, like the other trucks in the game, where you have several options of size of this and that, a cap and all these things. Just generally, accessories for the truck. These are very basic. But like I said, I kind of like this one. It's not too bad, and especially if you are new to the game, just go for it. This is a cheap truck, and it drives really well. So so I don't mind using it now. Some of the other trucks, I just can't stand driving them in the game. And it is what it is. I mean, I guess we're all different, and we prefer different things. But I tend to kind of lean towards my real life preferences, and but also the way, the way they are. I mean, for instance, I love driving Scanias in real life. It's a really high end truck, and they're really well built, and you feel comfortable driving them. But I just, in this game, I really can't like them. I'm trying, and I have been driving them quite a lot. Um, they look really nice. The interior looks nice, but one of my biggest griefs is the side mirrors there, that you can't see them just for normal driving position. I believe those are the only trucks in this game. In American Truck Simulator, there's quite there. Well, that's basically the norm there, but that's a whole nother kind of driving there. You don't really need them that much. Whereas in this game, when you're driving in Europe, both in the game but also in real life, you really need your mirrors. Yeah, and another thing is, I don't know. I mean, it's just me, but I a little thing I really like to see is an indicator for the light when it's on and when it's off, because the game have a habit of, sometimes when you start the game, the lights are not on, and while on the Scanias, the light switch is on the door. I believe they are. I mean, at least in real life, and I know this is true to real life. I can't remember the exact models in this game, but I believe they're on the door, and you can see it, or at least turn your head to see the actual switch for the lights, but there's no indicator that the lights are on. Another thing is the cruise control, the speed for the cruise control. As you can see here, while it's very small, it's still there. It's in the dash, in the LCD screen to the top left corner, and I really find it helpful to be able to see the speed there. Again, it is on the dashboard in the Scanias, but you have to switch through the modes there, which is it's no big deal. But I just like to have more information there, like maybe fuel economy or fuel, range, distance until you have to refuel, things like that. I know it's all tiny little things, and you don't really need it as such in the game. But yeah, I guess it all matters in the end. So that being said, I'm usually driving, like you can see now. I like to drive with the top right mirror. I know you can turn your head, but I just I use it a lot, every few seconds,
right,
basically,
and then exit
to
right.
see where you are on the road, and that's how you drive a truck in real life as well. You have to
Exit
kind of keep
right.
an eye on things. And then I usually use the data screen down there. I don't know what it's called, but the little map down in the left hand corner. I know the trucks have GPS, which is nice, but um, it's not really for the GPS I use it. It is for the well, the other data, really, the time until you're there, which I guess is part of the GPS, but it's not. It's not on the real screen in the game. And especially the sleeping, how much when I need to sleep, basically. Because if not, you have to kind of turn it on and off all the time to check on that. I There's one truck, the DAF, the new DAF TG. In the digital display, I don't think they all have it, but you can kind of upgrade the interior to the newest digital display, which is like a full LCD dashboard, and that one actually have an indicator when you should sleep, or how much time it is to next rest stop, which is useful as well. It circles back to what I was talking about earlier, that the you need to prepare a bit for those rest stops, because if not, it will catch you off guard, and you will be fined, or worst case, you will crash. Uh, so so yeah, I like that. And actually, when you're driving real trucks, if you see up there, there's a little computer thing. That one, you have a driver's card that you put in. At least in Europe, I haven't been driving in America. I've driven in Australia, but it was a class of truck where you didn't need to run logbooks. But in Europe, you have it's basically like a credit card, and you put it in this little machine when you're driving, and it registers everything you're doing, like the speed and all these things. And it's actually kept for 2 years in logs, and the police can go in there and check it for the next 2 years if they are so inclined. So don't speed too much, I guess. Obviously, they can't tell how fast you were allowed to go, but they can see if you were going more than 80, which is basically the speed limits for trucks in most of Europe. And they can also see if you're having the appropriate rest stops, which is very strict and very complicated. There's a whole book on how you're supposed to rest, and when you can rest when you're driving this and that and doing this and that, and this card, it keeps track on that. So on this little computer, you can actually see when you're supposed to take in a stop, and on many trucks, you can see that on the driving computer as well. So that would be a nice feature to kind of implement more settings into these onboard computers, or not settings, but more information, I guess. So you can see things like that, because it's there, and they basically they copy the real trucks, which is very nice. They just don't copy all of it. So there could be more information there. Obviously, a lot of it is already there, because, like I said, on the one of the DAF trucks, you can actually see it there already. So yeah, why not? It might be a thing in the future. Gotta merge lanes here. Oh, he's stopping. Nice. Yeah. Another wonderful thing of these some of these European countries is all these lovely toll booths. Again, I know it's there in real life, but there's places in this game where I would wish they would kind of cut down on it a bit. It gets a bit excessive. You can't even get up to speed before you have to stop again, I'm mainly thinking about some of the motorways heading north-south in Western Europe.
Now.
I believe in France there's some spots there, and I know. I mean, there's toll booths in real life, but not every 2 kilometers. It gets a bit much, but whatever. All right, Taranto, here we come. So I guess our travels are coming to an end for this time. We have less than an hour game time left, which is
go straight on.
3 minutes, roughly.
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
I can see out there in the distance on the GPS already. There's
exit now.
There's I think it's a dealership, and it might be what is it called? One of the yeah, it's probably a viewpoint. I can see there's 3 question marks there. So a viewpoint, a dealership, and one of the I forget what it's called. It's the hiring companies for where you can get more employees. So but I'll go and unlock them in the next episode once I'm driving to Messina to look at that shipyard. I kind of have to find the right delivery for that one. So we'll see how that goes. Generally, it's not too bad. You can also use the quick delivery system for those type of missions, where you're not actually driving your own truck, but if you're just looking to go for something specific, some of these goals, I guess, achievement goals, they can be very very specific, and you need to go to a place where there's only maybe one business, and that means you need a certain kind of goods, and then you really have to be lucky to find that, because you have to be in a place where they ship that kind of goods, as well as getting a shipment for that particular place. So I'm finding it's very useful to just go in and do one of the quick missions, and just literally search for either the destinations or the what is it called, the company that you are trying to supply or to deliver to, and that way you can fairly quickly get it done. So these shipyards, it's only 2, and I don't really remember what they're called. I'll just Google it before I get too far into it. But yeah, actually, thinking about it, as far as I remember, the name of the shipyards was something that I kind of recognized as, I mean, I know it's not real life, but it made sense to me that it was a shipyard, so to speak. I'm not fluent in Italian, but I understand a little bit.
And then exit right.
I've been living in Spain and known Italian, so
exit right.
So yeah, as far as I remember, I was like, okay, that makes sense when I saw these names. Look, here's another trap with this 40 zone. It could have just been 50. This exit is just, you don't have to do 40 here. I know it's not a racing game, but Come on. Again, I also know it's not the game. It's actually the conditions in
Get
Italy.
ready
I
to
believe.
turn left.
I don't.
Turn left.
I've never driven cars in Italy. I've been there a few times, but not as a driver myself. There we go. This is our destination,
Turn right.
Exeter, and I'll just head in here.
This
I'm
is
not
where
gonna
it
do
ends.
the actual stop because I don't need to. I just find it kind of tedious at times. This would be an easy one. It's probably just into the. Yeah, let's just do this. 15 XP, man. Here we come. Yeah, it's not that I can't park. I just I find it being in a game you don't have the same feel of things as you do in real life. Even the game is extremely good. It is really a true simulator in um, in many ways. But the real sense of the vehicle you don't really get, and I find it a bit hard to reverse the trailers. Not hard, but it's just I tend often to have to use the exterior view, which I try not to. Anyway, we're here, guys. So thank you for following me on my little journey here. It's been nice speaking to you guys. I hope it's a bit interesting what I'm talking about. And if you like it, it'll keep coming. So just hit the like button up and subscribe, and you'll get a little notification sometimes when there's new things from me. So cheers and catch you later.